What's up, y'all? It's your boy, whatever, man. Just coming through real quick, man. Trying to gather my thoughts, man, about something that happened yesterday that not only, has me extremely pissed off, but I'm struggling to like move past or forget that it happened, you know what I'm saying? So the reality, of being a black man is when you have run-ins with the police, encounters with the police, whatever. It could be a traffic stop, it could be mistaken identity, it could be, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Right now, nigga, we targets. If we don't move right, if a motherfucker sneeze, you know what I'm saying? Who knows? Who knows what? You know what I'm saying? It could all end bad because motherfuckers are scared of you for no damn reason. So, what happened to me yesterday? Okay. So, fuck. Hold on. My bad, I had to grab that. But so what happened yesterday? Is I went to go and visit my parents. Me and my son went over there and visited my parents. Let him visit with his cousins. And we was over there chilling. Time come to go home. It's dark out. I don't know. I don't even remember what time it was. I truly don't remember what time. It's probably about 8 o'clock. 7:30, 8 o'clock. Walk out the house. You know what I'm saying? I had a bag of with crackers and stuff. Some stuff that my mom had brought back from Kansas City. Because that's where she lived right now. Had that. I had my book bag that I be hauling around my, my cords and my notebooks and all that good old stuff. A book bag. I think we walked out with some sort of food. I think something. That might have been in the bag. But anyway. So go out, put it in the car. You know what I'm saying? Get in the car, turn around and start to drive down the street. We get to the end of the street. I go to turn out onto the street. And all of a sudden, nigga, the whole fucking car is lit up. You know what I'm saying? Like spotlights on a nigga. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. There's a car behind me, but it ain't a cop. Man, I look out I look. Man, the fucking helicopter, man, is buzzing over top of me with the light on me. I thought, I'm like, shit, is they shining the light on me? Because, it's kind of moving and shit, probably because the helicopter moving. So, I'm like, nigga, is they shining the light on me? Or, they, how they'll come flying through. Anybody that's ever lived somewhere where the bird fly around, they'll come flying through with their light on, and they might hit you for a second, but then they go on about their business. So, I'm starting to turn, and the light's still on me. I'm thinking this motherfucker just flying or whatever. And that's when it really hit me, like, we cruising, because, I just turned, I ain't took off yet, and, the shit is steady on me. So, bro, I just stopped in the middle of the street, and I got my son, my 10-year-old son in the car. He like, Dad, like, what's going on? And I'm like, man, I don't know. I'm like, that's the helicopter shining the light on us. So, I sat there for, maybe about 30 seconds, nothing happened. So I just, rather than just sit in the middle of the road, I creeped up to the next street, put my blinkers on, creeped up to the next street, and just pulled over right there at the corner, right? They sitting there hovering over me and my son with the light steady on a nigga. Now, my son's sitting there. He got his cell phone. You know, he looking around like, you know, wondering what's going on. He's like, Dad, why are we just sitting here and why do they have the light on us? I'm like, son, I don't know what's going on. I don't know why. All I know is in a minute, you know, probably in a few seconds here, the police are going to pull up and they're going to come walking up on the car. I'm like, so, man, I need you to give me your cell phone. I need you to sit there and just look straight forward. I'm like, don't turn around, don't move, don't stick your arms out the window, like, just chill, you know? I'm like, and if the police tell you to do something, do it. So he gave me his phone. He ain't asked no questions. You know what I'm saying? He gave me his phone. I sat both our phones in the little center, the little console, you know, between us or whatever. And, you know, and I'm just telling him, like, I'm like, what's going through in my mind, right? What's going through in my head is, all right, if it had just been a traffic stop, like, yeah, I'd have still told my son that he need to relax and chill or whatever. I'm like, but, nigga, the motherfucking bird is sitting here shining the light on us. And not just, like, by coincidence, like, you know what I'm saying? This motherfucker is on us. He's keyed in on us, meaning you think that we done something. So I don't know if, you know, and that ain't like hit a U-turn or ran a stop sign or no shit like that or speeding. I'm like, nigga, if the bird is sitting there with the light on you like that, nigga, you done something. So I don't know if, you know, the cops that's about to pull up on us think that, you know, we just did some sort of drug deal, just, you know, some sort of murder or something like that. I mean, I don't know what the fuck they thinking. When the bird involved, you don't know what the fuck it's for. So all I can think about is, man, my son don't know right from wrong when it comes to the police. He's young enough that we ain't had to have a conversation about what to do, you know, when the police might approach you suspecting that maybe you did something, or maybe if you did do something. We ain't had that conversation yet. My son innocent, you know what I'm saying? He's a good kid, you know. He ain't been in no sort of situation like that. And if I can think back, you know, on when I was a kid, I don't think that I had one encounter with the law that we were totally not prepared for. I'm gonna come back to that though. I'm gonna finish telling this what happened. Okay. So we sitting there and I'm talking to him, trying to explain to him why he needs to be calm, that the police are coming, but at the same time, we've been sitting here probably close to 5 minutes with the shit just hovering on us. So at this point, while we sitting there talking, I done grabbed my cell phone and I'm calling the police because I want to know what the fuck going on. I'm thinking like, well, can I call them and maybe warn them, you know, like ask them if, you know, if they, I don't know. I mean, you know, it's like spur of the moment shit. But I know at any point in time, right? Since when, if the bird's in the area, the cruisers is in the area. So I'm just like, man, at any point in time, man, like, you know, cops is gonna pull up on us. And are they gonna pull up, shine they light on us, and just walk up to the vehicle? Or are they gonna get out that motherfucking guns drawn, you know, because they think some sort of crazy criminals is in the car or something like that? I mean, I don't know. So I'm thinking for the worst, you know? I had to tell him, like, man, I don't know if they just gonna walk up on the car or if they gonna come out with guns. I'm like, so if you want to make sure that nothing happens to you, you got to do what they say. I'm like, and you know what I'm saying? You got to relax and stay calm. I had to tell him, like, man, you can't turn around. You can't really move. You just got to sit still. until they tell you what to do. I'm like, don't take your seatbelt off unless they tell you to take it off. None of that. I mean, I'm sitting here having this conversation with my son, and it's crazy because, you know, he's like, well, why? But he's like, okay, but why? You know, I mean, it's almost like, I don't know. I felt like the way he handled it was way more mature than I would have expected a kid that age to handle it. But we sit there, you know, again, it's been like 5 minutes. You know, I'm calling the police. I'm on hold because I called a non-emergency number because what 911 gonna do? You call 911, then they probably, you know, gotta transfer you or reach out. So I didn't do that, you know. Plus, it wasn't an emergency, so I don't know. But you know, we sat there. When a cruiser finally appeared, it had probably been about 7 or 8 minutes. Okay. Now, mind you, we right at the corner, spotlight blaring on us. Cop pulls up and basically cruises right past the street, right? But he threw his brakes on, so I'm thinking he just, you know, he overshot the street and wasn't paying attention or something, or was looking at something else. So I'm expecting him to turn around and come back. Never turns around and comes back. All of a sudden, the bird turns the spotlight off and starts cruising away. So we still sitting there. He's like, well, what happened? I'm like, I don't know what happened, man. I'm like, I'm trying to wait and see if a cop is gonna pull up. So we sat there for a couple more minutes, and they never pulled up. A couple more of them rolled by, but they never pulled up. So I go down the street to the next little, you know, street or whatever, and I turn around so I can get back out to the road that we was going to. And I kept telling my son, I'm like, man, like, at any moment, they're probably going to still pull us over. I'm assuming after all that shit, they still gonna pull us over. So when we turn out onto the street, we get to the next intersection. There's a power station there, and in the next intersection, there's, you know, goes into a neighborhood. And there's a cop sitting there with the whole street blocked. You know, he's coming towards us, and he pulls over and basically blocks the street. You know, like he waiting for a nigga to ride by and he gonna hit a U-E or whatever. And man, when we rolled past him, man, the way he was staring at us and the look that it was on his face, I was like, man, it's about to go down. I'm like, it's about to go down. You know, telling my son. There he is. Like, watch, he's about to come and pull us over. So, the cop, the actual cruiser, doesn't turn around. He sits there for a minute, but there's cars behind me. So I'm assuming that maybe he's, you know, not gonna cut those cars off. He gonna wait for them to pass and then dip around them or something. So as I'm looking at him in the mirror, because I got one of them little, you know, them little circle joints, so I can see out of my car better. I don't got good vision out of my car. I can see the lights from the bird, not the spotlight, but you know, the little green. They got little green and red lights on the front of it. I don't know if it's like that everywhere where everybody at, probably, because that should be standard markings. But anyway, and it's basically following us down the street. So I keep looking back out the window because the shit getting closer and closer to us, man. And that cop did end up turning around, but he never pulled up on us. So, but the bird, man, it followed me for a couple miles, man. It even sat at the damn red. We got stopped by a red light. It even stopped and sat at the red light right next to us. So I'm like, these niggas is following us. So they basically followed me halfway home. And the whole time, you know, I'm like, son, I don't know what's about to happen, man. I'm like, you know, it's almost like he keeping me calm because he over there like, he's like, okay, Dad, don't worry about it, Dad. Like, we all right, because he don't understand like how serious, you know, this would all be. So, you know, I ride on home. My son is hungry. I just went ahead and rode all the way home, knowing that we needed to stop and get something to eat. You know what I'm saying? I went home, you know, took him in the house, tried to gather my thoughts a little bit. And then I went back out, you know, and got him something to eat. But that whole situation, man, it fucked me up, man, because My son is 10 years old and he ain't been exposed to nothing like that. I did street shit so that he ain't got to do street shit. You know how that shit goes. That's your purpose. That should be your purpose. You know, for doing the things you do or whatever, or not necessarily your purpose for doing the things you do, but depending on what things you did them so that your kids wouldn't have to do them in the future. You know what I'm saying? And even if not, you raised your kid in a manner that they shouldn't have to worry about that type of thing in the future. You know what I'm saying? I raised my kid, try to give him the best stuff he can get, do stuff to keep him out of trouble, try to keep him busy, don't expose him to the wrong crowd. You know what parents should do, but in that moment, man, now don't get me wrong, it won't be the first time that I've had to tell my son about something before I felt like he was ready for that conversation. But what really pisses me off, man, is they basically robbed my son's innocence in terms of it's the first time I've been somewhere with my son where I literally felt like our lives were in danger. I'm a defensive ass person, so I don't expose my kids to nothing that I think, which nobody should, but I don't expose my son to nothing that's dangerous. I stay away, keep away from dangerous situations. Try to do all the right things when I'm around him. I don't have a drink and drive him home, like none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to make sure he good. But man, I mean, it was like, that's a conversation that, okay, I feel like I didn't need in my life until I was probably 16 when I got my first car. Or I got my first car on my 17th birthday, but I started driving when I was 16. You know what I'm saying? So here, fast forward to now, I'm telling him about this story. It's probably something that I at least wouldn't have expected to have to come up for another 4 to 6 years. You know what I'm saying? He's an innocent kid, sit around, play video games, stuff like that. Art, good kid, I don't know, man. I kind of been at a loss for words for this shit because it really bothers me like more than anybody will ever understand, man. Like, I was so pissed off that he had to go through that I had to like take his phone from him, and the look on his face was, he was like, man, well, what's going on? I didn't do anything, but he's a good enough kid that he ain't argue. He was just like, okay, well, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know how over the next few days or weeks or even months, how it's going to develop in his head, as Black Americans, and having to deal with law enforcement and the things that happen, and people get shot, and we'll go to the good cop bad cop thing. I know plenty of great cops, people that I respect. I got friends that are cops, you know what I'm saying? People I went to school with that are cops. But there are the bad cops out there. And how do I know, that Amber Geiger wasn't about to pull up on us? You know what I'm saying? And then, okay, the other thoughts that was going through my head is, all right, so what if they would have pulled up on us? Right? What if they didn't, or what if they didn't pull up with guns out? But, all right, they're questioning me. Did you do this? Did you do that? Where are you coming from? Blah, blah, blah. And he's probably going to be sitting there like, well, why the fuck are they asking him all these questions? Or what if they would have pulled me out the car and, you know what I'm saying, like handcuffed me and threw me on the ground or something like that, or some other shit would have popped off. My son would have had to witness that, right? What if they would have pulled up with their guns drawn, right? And he's a kid, kids are curious. What if they telling you don't move, blah blah blah, and regardless of whether or not it seemed like he was listening to me when I was telling him all that, it only takes a split second of lack of discipline, for him to turn around real quick. He don't like loud noises. What if they'd have bumped up against the car, or what if a shot was fired? You know what I'm saying? And he turned around or jumped because of that. Well, then whoever's gun was trained on him. Maybe what if they would have shot him? You know what I'm saying? What if they didn't realize that he was a kid? My plan the whole time was, as soon as they was pulling up, was to start yelling like, "Yo, man, yo, I'm just letting y'all know my son. My son is in the passenger seat. I got a Camaro, a newer Camaro. You can't really see in that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? It's got a lot of blind spots. The interior is black. It's nighttime. It's hard to see who's in that mug. There's so many fucking what ifs, man. And it really, man, is fucking me up, man. Like, cause we never got no answers. Nobody ever, the cops never actually pulled behind me, came to the window, yelled something out on the loudspeaker, like something. Like, I have no idea why they held me there, and why me and my son, especially my son, had to go through this. And all we did was go visit his grandparents and his cousins. That's all we did. That's all we fucking did. And I ain't gonna get no answers. So then what's the next conversation gonna be? When he be like, "Dad, you remember when when that thing happened or whatever?" Like, yeah, and be like, "So, why did that happen?" Now I'm gonna have to explain to him bad things that people do, things that he may have never thought of. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have that difficult conversation with him, and it's gonna come before he can fully realize what's going on. Like, regardless of how it turned out yesterday and how he reacted while it was going on and all that, he don't really understand. And then he came home and he fussed to his mom, about it happening last night. So I know it bothered him, I know it bothered him. I'm just looking around. We live by in the flight path of a military airport, so it'd be big ass airplanes, military planes, and shit flying over the crib. But I don't know, man. I really truly am angry about that shit, man. I really am. And I'm blessed. I'm happy that it didn't turn out differently. But I don't know, like I say, man, I'm at a loss for words. I'm to the point where, and it fucked with me all night. It fucked with me all day. It got me ready to, like, literally fuck somebody up. Like, last night, when I went to go get his food after it happened, some assholes, I'm driving. We get to the point where a new lane opened up where, if you want to go down this road, you gotta hurry up and get over. Somebody decided that they was going to jump before the lane even, activated or, opened up or whatever. I'm right there where the lane opens up. I go ahead and get over. They doing the same thing at the same time, even though they not there and they mad. You know what I'm saying? But that's what everybody does right there. So I don't know what the fuck they would expect. And, they bright lights and all that shit and blowing their horn. I'm just thinking like, I was thinking like, if this light up here turns red, I hope that these motherfuckers, like, get out the car or something like that, because I'm gonna get out and I'm whooping somebody's ass. That's the mood I was in. And then I even thought about stopping and jumping out the car, which would have been stupid, I mean, people do dumb shit like that, and you don't know anything about the person in front of you that you doing that shit to. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what they been going, what they done went through, what they reaction gonna be, you know, etc., etc. But man, you gotta talk to your kids, man. Even if you ain't ready to have the conversation. Cause I can think back to when we was kids, man. The only time that I had any issues with the police, and you know, playing around with you teenagers and shit, you might set off a firecracker when you shouldn't. And the police just so happen to be up the street, or you know what I'm saying. We used to do little stupid shit like throw rocks at the fucking Coda bus when it was riding by, and every now and then they call the police on us or some shit like that. But other than that, I mean, you know, I mean, generally speaking, until I got out of high school, I really wasn't in no real shit. There's some situations before that where it would have been nice to have that conversation about the police, but it was different back then too. I mean, it was happening because, you know, shit had happened to to Rodney King, you know, when I was a kid, so it ain't like it hadn't happened before. So I guess it was still, you know, always been relevant. But the only time it really could have used that talking to is when we was kids, and my cousin, I ain't gonna say his name, my cousin can tell you about this though. Our parents had bought us BB guns. We had the it was like the little rifle, and my bad, I ain't at the table, so I gotta sit my mic here. So we had the little rifle, and you had to take it and, you know, drop the thing down like this and basically pump it. You know, it wasn't the CO2 shit. You had to pump it like, you know, 10, 15 times or whatever. You know, you had your BBs loaded. I don't remember how many BBs it held. You know, and then you could get your shit off with it. You know, you could start shooting with it or whatever. And, you know, we had them for a little bit. You know, a little bit. And we hadn't had no issues. You know, we was just out playing with them one day. And we were by a school. And we was shooting at, like, squirrels and shit. You know, they was in the trees by the school or running around the field by the school. So apparently somebody, you know, some nosy neighbor or something called the police and told them that it was people out there with guns. So these motherfuckers, you know, we out there just doing whatever. Cops pull up on us. You know, we sitting there, we holding our stuff. Police, man, they like, drop your weapons, drop your weapons. You know, and they hadn't upped the heat on us. I can't remember if they had the guns drawn or not. I'm about to ask cuz, man. I think they did have the guns drawn. I really think they did. But it wasn't in a manner where they were drawn, but it wasn't in a manner where I was like, man, this nigga's about to shoot us. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, like, in my mind, we in trouble. You know, I think that's what was in my cousin's mind. Well, I'm facing towards the cops, and my gun is down to my side, pointing towards the ground. He's holding his like this, but he's facing me. Cops like, man, you know, put it down, or whatever. Man, don't you know my cousin turned around towards the cops? Like that. Turned around towards the cops slow. You know what I'm saying? You know, and then that's when they really went wild. But think about this, man. Like, now no one ever said, hey, if you was out playing with your gun and the cops run up on you, you know, this is what's, you know, this is what you need to do. So we weren't ready for that situation, man. What if they shot my cousin, man? He'd be dead. Maybe I'd be dead. Maybe they shot both of us. In this day and age, if a kid was to do that, they're getting shot. Think about the young boy in Cleveland. I'm sorry, all the names, because it's been so many, is not fresh in my head. But think about the young boy up in Cleveland that they shot, man. You know? I remember when that shit happened, I told cuz, like, man, that could have been us, bro. Hold on. My bad, man. Fucking phone. But when that shit happened to that young boy in Cleveland, man, I told my cousin, man, like, that could have been us, bro. Could have been us. So I think about shit like that, man. Had a conversation with your kids, man. If your kid is somebody who you know, goes out to shoot ball up the street, or you know, goes down the street to their friend's house and plays in the neighborhood. I mean, you just never know, man. You never know, man. These run-ins is more common. You know, kids be out joking around, playing around, play fighting or something, and somebody be called the police on them. Police roll up all aggressive and shit. You know, they scared of us. At least they act like they scared of us. To me, I feel like they out here, I don't know, I can't say that, but it's almost, it feels like they out here trying to wipe us out, you know, in a sense, because the shit be uncalled for, man. You know, the last time I got pulled over, my grandmother had just passed. I was out doing Uber, because I be doing Uber Eats and shit like that sometime. I was out doing that, and I was just in this zone, man. I had my music playing. I was in this zone. And I go through an intersection that I go through all the time. Okay? I know that I stopped at this stop sign because I didn't have any reason to run it. And I always stop at it. But I'm riding. I go through that intersection. And I getting close to the end of the street. I'm getting ready to turn into the lot I'm turning into the lot where the place is that I'm picking up the food. And I look up, and you know, the cops is behind me, and they start chirping they shit and stuff, you know. So I stop, and I'm wondering what the fuck going on. So they get out the car with their hands on their guns. They ain't drawing their guns, but they walking up to the car with their hands on the gun. You know, the shit's unclipped where they can just pull it out real quick. Scared as fuck. They take the super wide angle over to the side. I'm like, and mind you, you know, I'm in a small community, Reynoldsburg, Ohio. You know what I'm saying? I see the same cops every day, all day. They been seeing me. They know I ain't a problem. You know what I'm saying? But because I supposedly ran this stop sign, and I'll tell you what the problem was. Because when I got the shit dismissed, I'm sitting there with the city prosecutor. He showed me the video. These motherfuckers is parked so far down the street that there's a bush in somebody's yard that's blocking the spot where the stop sign is. So what a lot of people do is they pull up to the stop sign, they stop, they creep up to the corner, you know, a little bit further up, they stop again, and then they pull off. So the two cars before me, that's what they did. Me, I stopped at the stop sign, and then I pulled up. I was going so slow, there's no way I just rolled through the stop sign. You know what I'm saying? These motherfuckers, he like, well, it looks like you ran the stop sign. I'm like, yeah, it looks like that because of what those other people did, stopping twice for it after they've already stopped where the actual stop sign is. I'm like, and look at the damn video. I'm like, we can go over to that corner right now. I know where that house is with all them bushes. I'm like, they can't see the actual stop sign from down there. You know, it's all right. We just gonna throw it out. Don't worry about it. But my point is, when they pulled me over, they was all scared. They was scared as fuck, man. The whole time. I'm just like, damn. And me, I'm chill because you know, I was already zoned out, and I don't know. I mean, I'm like, I ain't got shit to worry about. You know, I caught a case, but I just got that shit expunged. But at the time, it hadn't been expunged yet. But it had been over 10 years. You know what I'm saying? I'm legit. My license is good. My insurance is good. I'm like, what I actually assumed they were pulling me over for was I thought they were going to tell me I was doing like 35 or something in a 25. You know? That's what I thought was going to be the case. When they said stop sign, I was stumped like a motherfucker. But anyway, man, had that conversation with your kids, man. have it. Make sure they know what to do. You know, I think on what happened yesterday, and what if as soon as they shine that spotlight on me, what if the cop would have been right there? I wouldn't have really had a whole lot of time to talk to my son. What if I didn't have time to take his phone from him? You know what I'm saying? What if they would have came a minute or two later? I wouldn't have had time to prep him. You know, I had to basically take him through a quick crash course on what he should do when the cops pull up on us. It fucked me up, bro. It fucked me up for real, man. You know, I ain't really talked to a whole lot of people about it. I don't want to talk to a whole lot of people about it. The reason I'm posting about it on YouTube at this point, it's a story I could always tell later, but the reason I'm posting about it on here right now is, you know what I'm saying? I don't really feel like none of my friends and family can relate to what I'm talking about. I don't feel that way. I don't feel like I know anybody personally that can truly relate to what I'm talking about. Maybe I could ask around, but you know what I'm saying? And maybe nobody on here can relate to what I'm talking about, because I don't even know who the fuck my subscribers are, for real. You know, y'all come on here and y'all view videos and shit like that. Y'all don't like shit, which I wouldn't know who liked it, but because they don't tell you who liked it, but y'all don't leave no motherfucking comments. You know what I'm saying? You know, half y'all got y'all's names hidden as subscribers, so I know like half my list. So out of the people I got, I can see who half of them are, and the other half got their name hidden and shit. Some hoe shit. You know, y'all want to be some YouTube spies or whatever, which is cool. You know, and some of y'all, I know there's a few older people that watch my stuff. Maybe they don't know nothing about that. You know, but you get the analytics that tell you, you know, people from Facebook, this percentage of people from Facebook watched you, or you know, I share my shit on Twitter. It'll tell me that. It'll tell me if I came up in a Google search, somebody's videos recommended me. Motherfuckers be texting my videos around at work, because I can see Verizon, or from my old job, because I can see Verizon messages in the percentages. You know what I'm saying? So I guess, you know, at least I can say that the people that do watch the few videos that I post, or the few people that watch the videos that I post, at least you support me enough to see what the fuck I'm talking about. You know, which I don't get from most of my friends. I feel like I can't even talk to my friends about a lot of shit. So, you know, so that's the only reason why I'm even on here talking about it. You know, maybe some real motherfuckers will come through, and, you know, that either done been through that situation with their kids, or they done been in the streets and they understand the seriousness of what could have happened. You know, so, you know, share your thoughts with me, man. Let's chop it up if you want. If not, it's cool, you know. Even if I just got it off my chest through a video, it ain't gonna change the way I feel right away. You know, I had to tell one of my boys earlier, man. I told a few people, man, like, nigga, if I disappear for a while, bro, right at this very moment, maybe I'll start to feel different in a couple of days or something, man. But like right now, I really don't want to talk to fucking nobody, bro. That's how mad I am, and where I'm at, and trying to process what the fuck happened yesterday. Again, we did nothing. So, is it because we was black? You can't say my car matched the description of somebody else's. My car is not a car that blends in with everybody else's. I got custom rims. I got, you know, it's loud. You know, I got the you know, it's a sports car. You know, exhaust tuned up. I got stickers all over my shit. Whatever, man, on the side. My car club, and you know, other stickers on the back. You know what I'm saying? My car. You can't just be like, if I was to commit a crime in my car, they wouldn't just be like, oh, some gray car. No, they would notice something. They would notice something about my car. You know what I'm saying? So For you to tell me that they held me there just on some quick mistaken identity shit. Nah, I have a hard time. I don't know. I don't know. That's what I'm saying, man. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? All I know is now I got to make sure that this don't affect my son in a manner that we need to talk about it, settle it, handle it, have some more conversations about it, or if he just moves past it. But now that he's been exposed to it, it's something that we're gonna have to talk about, because it's his first negative experience with the police. So in his mind, he probably like, well, I know the cops have guns. We're not bad guys, so why would you tell me if they come walking up on a car with guns that this is going to go? Why would they do that? I can just see that, those thoughts going. My son's smart, so I can see those thoughts going through his mind, man. So, I'm really upset that essentially my son got robbed of his childhood innocence. And I don't even fucking know why, So hopefully this anger, goes away. And, we can go ahead and move past this. But, for the time being, I'm about to just lay low, stay to myself, get out and do some fishing over the next couple of days, or, the next few weeks. Because that's one of the things, that's really the main thing that eases my mind and calms my soul, is fishing and music. Back in the day, smoking weed, but I don't smoke weed no more. This don't calm my soul. So it is what it is, man. So that's all I got, man. I don't even, man, fuck all the follow me here and there, man. I'm out. Y'all know where y'all can find me.